Hi everyone, and welcome to June's newsletter. And we're halfway through the year. We'll be coming up to a winter solstice, and it's just like, wow, where has time gone? Lovely feedback from the last newsletter, and I'm always really touched. I'm really touched by the kindness of the words that come through, the sense of appreciation, but also that sense of community where I'll be expressing what I'm going through. And as always, there's always one or two of you out there who are like, wow, that's the same for me. That's just, what I'm doing, what's happening. So it's really, really lovely to be part of that larger online community. And yeah, just lovely, just very blessed, I feel, to have you all out there watching and listening and reading and participating in my work at the Phoenix Foundation. So the week that was, the month that was, and it's been an interesting time. I mentioned in my last newsletter that I started a healing process, and it's always an adventure. You're never quite sure what you're going to reveal, unravel, what kind of worms will be exposed for you to look at. And certainly in this 12-step program, or 10-step program, sorry, having to really sort of dig deep, having to really think about, but catalogue, journal things, which I always find really helpful and really interesting, because the theme, and that was part of the healing journey, this 10-step program, was, well, what is the overriding theme? What is the theme that is coming up for you on an emotional level? And so for me, is that the old chestnut, the old peach of I'm not worthy or I'm not good enough, those two phrases certainly came to the fore for me. And things that teachers had said to me, things that friends had said, family had said, colleagues had said, all of those words, they just sort of sit, and you don't really appreciate that whole impact. And I suppose, like many people, I'm really good at doing the healing work on the mental, emotional level. I do avoid it like crazy, the physical stuff. I really do. So what did that journey mean for me this time around? So on a physical level, it brought about a condition I've never had before. I have seen my husband with this condition. My aunt used to get this condition. And in it, I had a little episode, I still have a little episode of shingles. Never had that, didn't actually know I'd had chickenpox as a young child, but obviously somewhere I have had chickenpox. Here the virus has come up, and quite interestingly, we've caught it really, really early by going to the doctor with these strange symptoms. But it was really interesting, her reaction to, well, this is brought on by stress. Are you stressed? And I almost felt like saying, wow, are you kidding? Of course we're stressed. We're in this really, really unusual time. It's really quite extraordinary, I suppose, for us personally, as a community, as a country, and the global level, quite extraordinary. And I said, well, yeah, I am actually really stressed. And I think that's part of that whole aspect of being really honest with yourself. So I then I've worked in the last few weeks, just sort of looking at the physical as the barometer of the mental emotional. And that's always been my thing. If I physically show up something, well, what is that? There's something much deeper. And it is those feelings of, I am, I'm not good enough, unworthy. What is it that gets under your skin? It's on the left-hand side, it's on the outside of my thigh, which is all to do with self-love and compassion, if you look at Eastern medicine rather than Western medicine. So I had to really just sort of sit down and think about that. Think about, well, where am I? Why, why is that still sort of sitting residual in the physical. And did a lot of forgiveness work. Forgave myself as well. I think we can be really, really tough and really hard on ourselves. We can really be judgmental. We are our biggest critics. So we make ourselves feel not good enough or not worthy more than anyone else that we know. And so I had to do quite a good work on that. And then in reflection, and you know, for me, the shingles is that topical skin irritation, it's inflammation, it's sore, it's all of those things. And so we need to reflect on what is happening, what has been happening in terms of where we are right now, in terms of, well, are we comfortable in our skin? Do we recognize the colour of skin? Do we recognize other people as our community? Do we recognize the value of people regardless of the colour of their skin? And that's a much wider, broader perspective of what is happening in reflection to what's going on in the world right now. So it's been an interesting time. So in my newsletter, I talk about the breadcrumbs, and I'm quite good at thoughts or things appearing in front of me. Well, do I need to follow that? Does that mean something for me? What's that all about? Or should I just actually let that go? And I have been, something popped up on Facebook, a guru of Ayurvedic healing. I thought, well, I've never actually studied Ayurvedic healing. I know about it, but I've never actually studied with it. And so that will be my next adventure. My next adventure over the next month is to work with some of those physical healing tools that they offer, to see where that takes my physical healing, because it has literally been a 5-year journey. And I used to be quite, not skeptical, well, maybe skeptical is the word. I used to be really skeptical of my Reiki master teacher when she would sort of moan about these physical symptoms and physical conditions. But I have to say that I've had 5 years, now coming up to 6 years, because I'll be 56 this year. So it's all started on my 50th birthday. These physical symptoms and ailments and odd things happening in my body. It's been a bit of a journey. So I so get what she has done, and I so appreciate her Reiki. I've got my Reiki hands behind me as my backdrop today. So I have been doing Reiki, and I have been following the principles. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not anger. Just for today, you know, thanking everyone in my past who brought to my attention my feelings, because I'm responsible for my feelings now. Maybe I did in the past let people make me feel unworthy, or let people make me feel I'm not good enough. But I'm in charge of that now, so I'm the only person that can allow that to happen. So I have to heal that. And maybe that's something that you can think about as you walk about, or as you go back into your bubbles, as you burst your bubble. We become less bubble bound as we go back into our lives again as they were. They will be different, but on some levels they will be the same. And already I'm hearing from some people who are maybe not looking forward to going back to what maybe was a toxic environment. They're quite happy being bubble bound. Other people really looking forward to the social aspect, going back into the office, working with their colleagues, the jokes and the jibes, going back and forth, desk to desk, colleague to colleague. So, you know, as we burst our bubbles and as we move back into environments, we might find that, you know, our body might show symptoms, or we might be reacting to our feeling, what is going on around us on a really acute, very deep level. So what I would say to you is, as you are bursting your bubble and heading back out there, then be really aware that you're in charge. You are in charge. And if you've left toxic behaviour behind you, really isolated in your bubble, you feel you're going back into toxic behaviour, you're in charge, you set the ground rules, because you will let that happen. You are the one letting that happen. Yes, it's happening to you, but allowing that process. So it's a really big shift of consciousness for me. I'm actually really excited. So I'm going to develop even just once a week practice with this new guru, see how that goes, and then develop a bigger strategy with their work, and just to see what these exercises and breathing exercises, what that actually does for myself and to boost my immune system, because obviously that's what I need to be doing. My immune system is not quite what it should be, hence the shingles. So it's an interesting time that I think we need to be really mindful of where we're going, what we're doing, and how we're going to be perceived, or how we're going to be viewed as we go back into normality. On the upside of having the shingles, apart from the pain, apart from this, it was actually really quite sore, I have to say. I think on the upside for me, I think I've become very aware of my physical body over the last 6 years. Become really aware of what my body is telling me. I think that's why we've got it relatively early, and early enough to avoid the elongation of this process, but also maybe some of the more major symptoms. And I think that that's really quite a lovely realization for myself. If I was to think back to when I first did my Reiki journey, I was so unaware of the connection between physical symptoms, the mental and emotional body. You know, working with spirit but being spiritual are two very different things. Working with spirit from the age of 24, it wasn't until I sort of in my mid to late 30s did my Reiki training that I really became someone who became spiritual, aware of there's more to life. Why has this happened? What does that mean? Why am I going through this? And that's that spiritual journey, the soul awakening, and you looking at what's going on around you and following the breadcrumbs, joining the dots, and putting a conscious awareness around where we're going, what's going on. So it's been a really interesting time for me just to reflect back to that very naive aspect of myself. And I still feel quite naive. I still feel that I don't know what the world's about. I still question things and question what's going on around me, so that I can get that deeper perspective. And I think the exciting thing for me is moving, sort of reflecting on my main newsletter, me, myself, I, coming back and feeling self. Well, man, that really did hit me in the face. I really have had to look at my heel. I can't avoid it, push it down, put it in the too hard basket. It's just that realization of, okay, this is something we need to deal with. This is sore. So where is the pain coming from? What does that look like? And that So it's just been an extraordinary time, really extraordinary time. As we reflect on what is happening in America, the pain, the underlying pain that we're seeing with people. And it's very moving. Some of the reactions are very moving, some of them are quite shocking. But I think it does give us an opportunity to really be honest with ourselves. Really be honest with ourselves, both on a personal level, also as a community and as a country, what our perceptions are around citizenship. Where do we belong? Where do we come from? You know, does it really matter? We're all human, and as humans, we should accept humans, regardless of where we're coming from. So it's an interesting time, a really interesting time for us to develop and to grow and to become a little bit less than. So that's where I've had an amazing response to the online academy this month. So welcome to all of the new students. It's just wonderful to see you all on there. And a big thank you to my Crystal students on the Crystal course who've been sending me healing. I couldn't do my class last week because there really was a lot of pain. So we cancelled the class, we pick up again as of this evening actually. And it's our master class, first online master class for the Crystal course that I've ever done. Thoroughly enjoyable. Get totally off topic because we're talking about crystals, which I'm really passionate about, and we talk about different types of crystals, etc. So that's just been a huge amount of fun, and just a huge thank you to those who are participating. It's really wonderful. So we've got 2 master classes coming up, live classes with myself. So we've got a tarot course coming up, which is live. So I'll be talking through on a weekly basis. It's a 5-week course, 4 or 5 weeks, just talking about the tarot cards. That's where I started. I started at the age of 13, reading tarot, getting into tarot, understanding, trying to understand, I suppose, the dynamic and diversity of the tarot world, because they are really dynamic cards. When you use them other than just for divination, they're bigger than just for divination. And I think that's what my students tend to get when they come on the physical tarot course. So that's really exciting. And I'm doing a live masterclass in channeling. And with that course, I think the key to that course for all of the students who've been on that course is to really recognize what kind of channel you are. A sentient channel, a cognitive channel, where does that information come? How do you recognize that? And channeling for yourself, getting your own guidance, can be a really powerful experience. It's like me following my bread, I call them my breadcrumbs, but they are intuitive messages. And I just keep moving forward and moving forward and moving forward. And they keep giving me these messages, these thoughts or feelings. And so the channeling course is really part of that process. What I think I will do, hopefully when students book up for that one, is I'll then put the next level, which I've never actually put onto the online academy, which is the interdimensional travel, and that's the astral plane and the lucid dreaming, and you know, what does that actually mean? It's a course I haven't run for a long time, I have to say. When people are on it, there's lots of exploration about what astral travel is. What are the planes? Do they exist? How many are there? And what does it feel like to move between planes? So, so you know, that's a course that's just sort of been in the background. I will get round to putting it on as an online course, but I think I'll put that out there as a master live course as well later on, because I think now is the time where people are maybe looking to start becoming a bit more self-reliant, more self-guided. And I'm busy working on putting the online teacher training course online. So we're just about ready to go live with that. So it's been I think that's where my excitement comes from. It's been a really interesting time of development, both for myself on a personal level, developing the online academy. The feedback from the students who will always be my physical class students, you know, one in particular, she's, gosh, you were so far-sighted, you started your online academy years ago, and here we are, I'm part of that academy now, and that's really lovely. So there's just, you know, there's all that beautiful interconnectedness now, students here in New Zealand, but on a global level, the students are global, and it's great to have that beautiful global connection. So it's been a really wonderful time, deeply healing an interesting time, I have to say. But that's what we're living in. We're living in really, really interesting times. And I think in true reflection for yourselves, you can really reflect on what's going on and see the healing, then you can see where you're going. You'll find that path. And the past is the past. We can't let the past haunt us. We can't let the past hijack us. And we can't let the past hold us in a place of stillness. We have to know that we're moving forward in a positive or more progressive way. So thank you so much for joining me today. It's been wonderful to see you as always. Looking forward to my new venture into Ayurvedic healing with my new guru, and we'll see where that takes me. So hopefully I'll have something interesting to report in our July newsletter. But until then, take it easy. Don't burst your bubble too quickly. Just take your time. Take your time going back into your usual, normal environments. Just be aware of your energy. If you're extra tired, be really kind to yourself. Yes, we can be kind to others, but charity begins at home, so be kind to yourself so that you are ready to support yourself in really holistic and really wonderful ways as our bubbles expand back to success. So until the next time, take care for now. It's lovely to see you all, and once again, continue with your feedback. I always love hearing your feedback. Bye for now.